Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So this video is stuff I bought for me, number 7. It would be number 8 if you counted stuff I bought for me, German edition, but I'm not counting that, so this is number 7. And yeah, there's something else before we get into this video. So I'm a professional now. As of yesterday, YouTube paid me some money. It was £61 and I have made like 330 videos and about 180 shorts, and yeah, so not an economic proposal really, or commercial proposal I should say, but it's fun and I'm now officially a professional person being paid to do this, even if it's not very much. So anyway, I've got 3 kind of things I bought. I've got some stuff that I got from a charity shop. I've got some stuff that was a smash and grab from eBay, and I've got some stuff that I bought from an antique centre. So I think we'll start with the charity shop stuff first, I should say, and yeah, and it's like 20th century, and then we've got some older stuff for the other things that I've bought. So let's get on and have a look at some glass. And also, while I'm about it, I don't think I'm going to use any references for this. I'm just going to tell you what I've bought and go from there. This is the first thing I have to show you. It's a Whitefriars 9649 Sparrow Beak jug. Okay, first appeared in the catalogues in 1966. So yeah, you got this. Look at this. It's like a little, like a little sparrow. There you go. Beep beep beep. There you go. So yeah. So this type of jug with this first appeared, I think, in the early 50s, but they had the handles were done a different way. They were done this way, and then they had some little jiggly bits at the bottom. No ribs. Can you see the ribs on the handle there? Yeah. This type of handle was first painted by Thomas Webb in 1869, but obviously this is much later. We're 1966, almost 100 years later, still reusing that style. Anyway, so yeah, it's a cream jug. The blue ones, usually they're dark red. Blue ones are less common, and I think it was like about £2.50 or something like that. So yeah, that's quite a cool little thing. So let's move on to the next thing that I got from a charity shop. So this is the next item I got. It's a little small vase. It's made by Tajima in Japan. It's from the 1970s, and it's a bit like a Whitefriars bark vase. I don't know who was the originator of this style of vase, so you can't say Tajima were exactly copying Whitefriars, and the surface texture is very different from the Whitefriars one, and also it's got this blush from green to orange, which none of the Whitefriars does one. It is cased, which means it's coloured glass that's then been dipped into clear glass, so you can see the clear glass through it. It's also pressed glass, so you can see there's no pontil mark, it's just a pressed base, and they haven't polished it either. A lot of the early pressed glasses got a polished base, this doesn't. So yeah, it's a bit like some of the, I'm trying to think who, I think Davidson do something with a similar texture, but this is a bit more irregular. Look at that big chunk out of there. Yeah, the ones by people like Davidson's and Ravenhead are a bit more regular. So, and the top, you can see the top here has been heat finished as well, so it's kind of soft. So that's not been cut off. And going to Tajima, and I think that was £5. So not that common in the UK. You don't see them around. You might see them in antique centres and places, but you don't really see them in charity shops. And they are, some people do try to sell them as Whitefriars. I've also seen them sold as Ingrid glass, which is German, which is also like Whitefriars bark vases as well. But yeah, it's Tajima. It's from Japan, 1970s. So this decanter is one of 6 that I bought as a single lot from eBay. It was collection only. I did have to go to Peterborough to get them, and they cost £30, so it's £5 a decanter. This decanter is worth about £5. There's another one which doesn't have a stopper, which I won't bother with. That's worth about £2. But and there's nothing wrong with this decanter. You know, if you wanted a decanter to use at home, you'll easily get a whole bottle of wine in there, or a bottle of anything into it. It's a good size. Look how big it is. Look. It's probably from the sort of like 60s, 70s or 80s. You know, it's all cut glass, lead crystal. It's in decent condition. You know, there's no big chips. It's got a little bit of bloom in the base, but it's been used. To me, the stopper looks a little bit disproportional, but it's just a bit boring, really. You know, it's a useful thing if you're gonna, you know, have a bottle of whiskey and share it round, or just be the kind of person that has a bottle of whiskey and tips yourself a tipple out every now and again, or whatever. You know, it's a heavy, proper cut glass. A lot of work in doing this. You know, not super skilled work, but a lot of work. But yeah, no super value there. So let's move on to the next one. So this decanter is the next one in my job lot of 6. This one was made by Stuart Crystal. I think this pattern is called Medley. I'm not 100% certain. I think Medley has these little blazes here offset a little, and this one doesn't. But I can't find the decanter for Medley, not a picture of it. It's from that point of view, Medley is not a very common pattern, so it's quite a rare decanter. I did go online and try and find some, yeah. So what can I say about this decanter? It's quite stylish with this. It's from the 1950s, this design. I found it in the factory drawings. Look at that. So that's quite stylish. The base so this has been blown into a mould, okay, spun, and these rings are part of the mould. They're faux rings, because they're just normal rings are actually added on as a lozenge of glass, and these are just pressed out in the mould. So what they would have done, they would have blown into mould, spun it so there's no seam, and when they took it out, they would have pressed it into another mould to create this textured base. This is the polished pontil mark. So when the blower pressed it into that mould to make that pattern, he would have then tipped it on its side. Someone would have stuck a pontil rod on the other side. Then they would have cut the bottle off the blow rod, finish it off. So, and then they polished that out at the end. So, yeah, it's quite. I'm not sure of its value really, because I can't find any for sale. I did try, but it's not a common Whitefriars Stuart Crystal pattern. So yeah, it's probably like £20-30, something like that. But nice 1950s. It's quite kind of stylish with this huge blaze cut across the top of it. And probably looks quite nice with some drink in it, with a textured base as well. So this is my next decanter from my job lot. It's probably from about 1890 to 1910, probably in that region. This is something you see going on into the early 20th century, this kind of little cuts like this. But this style here is very Victorian, which is why. So this kind of starts at the end of the 1800s, whereas this is kind of a end of its days in the 1800s, which is why I'm putting it into that bracket, because you've got two styles that are all cutting techniques or patterns or whatever you want to say, crossing over and departing from each other. So you see this on decanters that don't look Victorian, and I'm talking about these. See these little rows of grooves here. You see these going on really, I think even post-war. But yeah, you see them in very non-Victorian decanters in the 20s and 30s, but this is where you start seeing these little cuts like this. But this is very Victorian-esque. It's got a star cut base, and this is a superior quality, I would say. Not super quality, but a good Victorian decanter, but still not valuable. People don't really want them. Probably worth £10 to £15, something like that, even though it's probably more work in that than the previous two decanters we were looking at. So this is the last pair of decanters from the set of 6 that I bought from a box out of a container out the other side of Peterborough. So yeah, got them on eBay, £30 for 6, and these are why I travelled to Peterborough, or past Peterborough, to Crowland even. So what have I got here? Got a pair of Georgian decanters dated about 1770 to 1785. That is a very tight time period, but that is the time period when these heart-shaped stoppers were in fashion. If you look at it very closely, you can see it's got bubbles in the glass, which is a nice period thing to see in it. The other one has two. Let me show you. Can you see if it focuses it? You'll see there's like little specks in the glass there. That gives me a good feeling, because they were not always good at getting rid of that at that time period. What are other features that kind of fit it into that period? Small pouring lips. If you go back to 1750, you won't see any pouring lip, and then they kind of got bigger. By 1800, they were kind of out here somewhere. But the small pouring lips, just like they're newly invented. Let's be cautious with that kind of thing. The scale cutting on the neck, let me show you that. This is a very period style of cutting as well. Then the stars, yeah, that's very of the period. And then you've got this is called comb cutting. This is very shallow as well, which is of the period. The next thing I want to see, I'm not going to try and show you striations in the glass. There's like, you can see ripples in the glass if you look at the right angle, but the base here, let's see if I can get it to focus. You see this grey line here, the white behind that's just bloom. You know, you can have a 30-year-old decanter with that doesn't make a difference, but the base here, can you see this grey line here? That's wear and tear from it sitting on the table, and yeah, that's like a solid mass, and that's what you want to see in anything that's over, you know, well, this kind of age. It's like 250 years old. You definitely want to see that solid mass of wear on the base where it sits on the table. I was a little bit concerned about it when I took the stoppers out. Normally you expect to see wear and tear. So if I let this focus here, will it focus? Come on, focus on the stopper head. There you go. Normally I expect to see a lot of wear on the stopper. But what I realised is, so the middle has not got any wear, but when I run my finger here, it's kind of like a little bit hollowed out, and the wear is here on the bottom edge here. Can you see this line? Smooth line, and then this top edge here. So I felt, when I realised that, when I first saw it, I thought, oh god, they're reproductions, but then I realised actually it is quite heavily weared at the spot where it is worn, because it is very smooth there. So that put me back in my comfort zone. So there we go. I have no idea what the value. I think the value is depending on who you're buying it from. Some people might be charging like £800 for those. Some people might be charging you 150. I don't know, but yeah, not £30 for two. So they're 250 years old, and it's a pair. It's a fantastic survivor as a pair with the original stoppers. They've come out of somebody's smart house collection, something. Someone probably knew what they were buying when they buy them, and then somewhere in between that happening, and now someone's forgotten that these are good things and very old and very rare. In fact, I have like a box of stoppers from this period. I only have one stopper that's heart-shaped, let alone having the whole decanter or even a pair of decanters. So a few days ago, went to Stamford. We went to an antique centre and we bought some bits and pieces. I've been going to a few antique centres and not buying anything, and then should we go somewhere and buy some stuff? So this is it's more than a pint, but not a full bottle, I would say. Let's see how big it is. Yeah, might get a pint in it, a bottle in it. I don't know. Not tried. Anyway, this is a Anglo-Irish decanter. Probably sort of like in a period 1810, 1820, something like that, maybe a bit later. It's got a really unusual feature. It's got a blown ball stopper, and when you look at it very closely, it's actually made in two parts. You can see here, I can run my finger around, I can feel where this ball has been added to this peg. You can see the wear on the stopper, where it fits into the bottle. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Remember, I was just talking about it a couple of minutes ago. You can see the wear. It's got a few little chips around the bottom. That's no biggie, as they say. Then, yeah, the ball is. This is called strawberry hobnails or strawberry diamonds, where they've cut these grooves to make these diamonds, and they've cut tiny little grooves into the top of them, and then it's got a star cut top, which I presume is where they had a pontle just for blowing this little tiny ball. Yeah, and these strawberry diamonds or hobnails on the stopper match very closely with the ones. It's got this little strange feature. We've got this flat cut panel. Fine hobnails cut in the top of these. Now, why would I say it's Anglo-Irish? What makes it possibly Irish is the fact that in England in the Regency period, when this would have been made, when you've got bands of decoration, usually they're horizontal. Irish ones seem to be vertical more often. They did seem to like their fine diamonds. It is also quite heavy for its size, and at the time this was made, there would have been no tax on the glass by weight in Ireland like there was in England, so English ones this size tend to be a bit lighter. Even just looking at this here, look how this feels really thick and heavy duty, and English ones are not quite as chunky as that. Not massively more chunky, just like there's been no In England there was a bit of care to wait because the tax was 300% by weight, so that makes a big difference. So yeah, that's a nice little step cutting, diamonds panel cutting, very nice little thing, and I'm pretty happy that the stopper's original. It fits tight as anything. It's got the nice wear on it, matching patterns. So the next thing I bought, and I think I paid the most for this, I think I paid £20 for it, is this stonking jar from the 1820s. Let me show you. It's in very good condition. There's no chips or breaks here. Stopper is very in vogue with the period. It's like a mushroom stopper from a decanter of the period. The handle, I should say. It's not the stopper. This is the lid. Shallow. Diamonds, very of the period. A bit of step cutting here. Yeah, very 1820s. And let me show you. Now this is a really unusual thing because it's so big, the contents is so much. See, hobnails here, but they kind of, you got this panel cutting, and then let me show you the base. Like I said, can you see here? I can get it focus on this spot here. Focus. There we go. Look at that where it touches the table. Yeah, you've got a bit which doesn't touch the table, and you've got a bit that does again here. That's what you're looking for on a piece of glass this age. It's got a big shallow pontle, and you can see the remains of the broken pontle within it. Now, what I don't know is what this jar is for. Let me show you. So this is, because normally the jars like this, like jam jars, or it's too big for tea. This would count as a mustard pot or something, and it's the contents. Look, this is this big. This is like, that holds at least 4 times as much as this. It's also got a notch in the lid for the spoon to go in. So that's way too big. Let me grab something else from the top. See, that's a tea caddy. And it's not like the lid's all wrong, because the tea caddy has more of a stopper kind of lid. And even tea caddies have the step in and a lid like this. This is like a lid like a jam jar or something. I have no idea what its purpose was originally. And also, tea was hugely expensive, so this is quite a big thing of tea for then, and it would actually go in a box that would be locked. And this just seems like that holds double what that does. But this is a higher quality. Look at the cutting on that. That is, yeah, that's a different level of cutting for a tea jar, because tea was so valuable then. So anyway, that's the glass I bought for me, and I have one more piece to show you, which I didn't buy for me. My wife bought it for her. So she doesn't buy glass very often, and her tastes are not mine. So I'll have a look at what she bought. So this is what my wife bought. She bought a candlestick. It's made by Rosenthal, which is a German company, and when I saw it, I thought, oh, it looks very Scandinavian. My wife likes these sand molds, Scandinavian type things. It's supposed to be some sort of angel candlestick. Now, I was just trying to remind myself what it was. I was looking it up before I started this. It's designed, and it makes sense now because it's designed by, what's his name again? Bjorn Winblatt, and he's from Denmark. So I thought it looked very Scandinavian when I saw it, and that's I just dragged over without even looking at the label. Going, look at this! It's like £10, and I think looking. If you were going to put it on eBay and try and make money on it, I think we completely, totally robbed them. Just looking at the prices just quickly, I think £10 is a very good price. Well done, Janice. And yeah, it was very stylish. And it's probably, I imagine it's like 60s or 70s. Quite a cool little thing. I quite like getting these kind of things, so I'm not going to. It's very of its time, and that's what I like about it, you know. So anyway, so that's the end of the stuff that we've bought. So there you have it. Stuff I bought for me number 7. I think I will have to be selling some of my glass now. Probably try and sell a bunch on eBay in the run-up to Christmas, because you just can't keep buying and buying and buying. It's all got to go somewhere. You can see this is only part of my collection behind me. So yeah, I'll be culling some stuff in the run-up to Christmas, because it's got to be done, and it's hard. You know, they're all my little children, and I'm a collector. But anyway, I didn't use any references. Yeah, I didn't want to spend 10 hours making this. It takes ages once I start pulling out catalogues and showing those and having to splice. Anyway, that's by the by. Didn't use any references, so there will be no references. There's no contact details on this apart from my website. And so please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. If you have any suggestions for new videos, because obviously I do my out and about ones, which take up a lot of time, and then in between those I do a few odd ones. So if you have any suggestions for those, I'm always up for it if I can make a video out of it. And yeah, so with that said, thank you for watching. Have a good night. Good night.